Hello, thank you for joining us today. Thank you for making time to be part of We Deliver podcast. My name is Fatuma Hassan. I am the Communication and Public Relation Associate at Crestwood Marketing and Communication. Today, I am joined by an amazing lead communication and public relations at Crestwood Marketing and Communication. That is none other than Jamie Wangoi. Jamie is going to take us through the importance of public relation and harnessing the power of public relation because today is a World Public Relations Day. Well, sit back and enjoy the conversation. Guys, thank you for joining us today and for making time to be part of We Deliver podcast. Well, my name is Fatuma Hassan. I'm the Communication and Public Relation Associate at Crestwood Marketing and Communication. And today I am joined by the amazing and gorgeous lead Communication and Public Relation, Jamie Wangoi, and we'll be discussing the power of public relation in the current world. This discussion, or rather today's discussion, is informed with the fact that we are celebrating World Public Relations Day, and the theme of this year's Public Relations Day is harnessing the power of public relations. So without further ado, I'd like to carry out this conversation. So hi Jamie.
Hi.
Thank you for making time to join us today.
It's good to be here. It's good to be here.
It's nice having you around. So before we even start on this, I'd like you to first take us through the definition of public relation, or just the basics of what PR is, so that our listeners who don't know what PR is can get informed.
So, I have this definition that I really like because public relations is so wide. Yeah. So, I have this definition that I like using. It's an easy way to understand. So, public relations is having the right message at the right time to the right people in the right place. So key to note is that everything needs to be right. It's just it's the 5 W's and the H. The who, the what, the when, the why, the how.
Yeah.
So you need to know what message are you sending out, when are you sending it out, who are you sending it out, and is it the correct message that you're sending it out.
Yeah. Well, that is actually very simple. The fact that I'm listening to you say about the right people, the right message, the right place, at the right time makes it very easy to comprehend. Well, that said, how do you feel that the fact we are celebrating World Public Relations Day on this particular day, July 16th?
I think it's very timely in that we're living in a world where PR is becoming more and more important in terms of especially reputation management and crisis management. I believe for a long time it's just been mentioned as communication.
Yeah.
But PR also involves making sure that everything is being said in the right manner. That's why when I earlier said the right everything in your messaging. So we're living in a time where PR is becoming more and more needful for our different kinds of audiences, in especially the corporates and the day-to-day. So you'll find a company that did not see the need of having a PR department, now they have a PR department. And it's not because they necessarily went through something, but because they find themselves in a situation where the need has been created by the current world we're living in. Digital has created an exposure for companies. So companies need to make sure that all their communications have been covered end to end. Most of the communication that used to be important. So companies for a long time used to be in a space where their internal communications were more important.
Yeah.
And the external ones were equally important, but the external one was sort of cast on stone. So you'd find if a bank needs to send out a message, it does a memo and it does a communication in the newspaper and sends across their message.
Yeah.
But now, and it used to be it had a lot of bank jargon where if you're not a banker or you don't bank with them, you might not necessarily understand the message. But because of the competition which has come up, and especially even competition even in the communications, banks are fighting to be the most memorable brands.
Yeah.
You'll find a bank doing an advertisement that in maybe 10 years ago, 15 years ago, they would have never embarked on such a campaign. But now they are becoming more and more aware of the need for digital awareness. And in digital, you just can't come and plonk a press release or a memo or just any write-up, it needs to be very engaging.
Mm-hmm.
And digital is teaching us the need for engagement on all platforms, whether it's Twitter, whether it's Facebook, even TikTok. You just can't post a video on TikTok and
Yeah.
keep quiet. You need to engage with your audiences. Now, when you're engaging with your audiences, what are you telling them? How are you telling them? That is PR. Are you talking to them rudely? Remember, there's a time that Safaricom was the joke of Twitter, when people would say the messages are being responded by, they'd sign off as initials,
Yeah.
SW, JW,
Yeah.
and it became a thing. And many more and more companies have picked up that style of responding, just so that each tweet has an ownership as to who sent it out. Again, many brands have come out digital, and they're doing campaigns that are very customer centric, campaigns that even have testimonials.
Yeah.
A while back, a message even on TV, an ad, used to just tell you what you need to know. They were not keen on getting what does the customer feel. They need to also now go back to the customer and understand where their minds are at, how are they feeling about everything, what do they have to say. There's a time where feedback was not very important. Now it is everything. Remember, customer is king.
Yeah.
And customer being king, and we like saying the customer is always right. Now customer is king. Communication has become king. Content has become king. PR has become king.
Well, that makes a lot of sense. What would you say? Over the years, I've seen so many organizations not utilize public relations and communication in the essence that they did not understand what PR and what communication can do for an organization. In your expertise and all the years that you have been in the industry, do you feel that right now, is the number of organizations, or rather, how can you quantify? Would you say that it has been PR and communications has been picked up by majority of the organizations, corporate or otherwise, or do you still feel that organizations have not yet embraced public relations?
I think it's a 50-50 scenario where you're finding more and more companies and organizations are picking to PR and communications. But then we still have a few that still don't see the need of the department, because there's this assumption that marketing does it all. Marketing department can handle it all. So PR and communications is not a department. It's not a person. It's an activity of the marketing department.
Yeah.
But now we are seeing a few more organizations come up and say, hey, you know what? We need to have a PR person. We need to have a communications person. Or you join the two and you have a PR and communications person, because you also want to maintain your wage bill. And there are some that are now embarking on that, having that department, but it's coming out of a crisis and a need. So you find an organization found themselves on the necks of KOT, Kenyans on Twitter.
Yeah.
And the chaos that was brought about by that one episode,
so they want to pick it up.
the need. They want to now look at a scenario where, okay, now next time if this happens, we need to be ready.
Yeah.
So now it moves away from just having marketing department sort it out to we need a PR and communications expert on the team to manage even this crisis. Yes.
That makes a lot of sense. What advice would you give to organizations that are yet to embrace public relations? Are they missing out, or do they feel like they're still doing the right thing? You as the expert, what message do you have for organizations that have not yet embraced public relations?
I would hope and pray they don't find themselves in a crisis. Then they need to get consultants, expert consultants, external consultants for that matter, that create the need. I would ask anyone in business, not just, you don't have to be a big organization, you could be a very small organization. As long as you have a public footprint, you must have a PR person. You must have a PR department. You must have a communications department, because communication is not waking up and doing a tweet or doing a press release or doing an internal memo or an external one or sending out a newsletter. It needs to be well thought out. You need to even spell check, You need to have somebody who has the expertise to know that you need to identify right from the top, what message are you sending out? Then you come to the how. Unfortunately, most of us find ourselves doing the how before we understand the what.
That's
So
true.
you find a newsletter, and I have found myself unsubscribing to so many things because a newsletter is sent out, and I could clearly see they had not even looked through who was the intended target audience. I mean, if you're promoting a male deodorant, yes, of course, I know men in my life, and I know men who could benefit from that deal,
Yeah.
but I'm not the primary audience. I need to hear about it maybe as a secondary audience because I'm not the direct purchaser of this item. So I think the PR department, the communication department, enable organizations to narrow down and do effective communication across board, whether they're doing above the line, through the line, below the line.
Yeah.
You're just effectively communicating, because communicating is one thing, but are you effectively
Effectively
communicating?
communicating. Yeah,
So I
true.
would ask the organizations, I mean, if you don't have a PR department, are you effectively communicating?
That is true. Well, before we wind up, I'd like to ask, with the experience and having stayed long enough in the industry, what are some of the key challenges that you feel is in the public relations area, and how do you foresee in the coming years, let's say by engaging the necessary public relations body in the country and beyond, how can we navigate and work our way through the challenges?
I feel like the PR practitioners are firefighters when the fire is already lit. So you're being called to fight a fire that you did not start, or you did not even know what caused it. And you're expected to do a very good job. So my advice, if you take nothing else, I would ask that you take home, think about it. When you do have a problem, where do you first run to? What is your immediate reaction? PR also assists you in ensuring that your reaction, whether negative or positive, is not the first thing that you communicate.
True.
Because half the time, if it's not something very good, our reactions are not positive. So if we react not positive, that is a message that people get firsthand, and that is what they run with it. So no matter what you say 3 hours later, when the temperatures have cooled, it won't matter. Your initial reaction is what matters.
True.
So for me, it would be, if you do nothing else, set yourself up for success by having a PR department or a PR person that is even helping you, even for yourself as a brand, an image. I mean, Fatma is going to become a great person in this world. You know? So as you set yourself up for that, think about, and you don't have to know everything, but think about when things are not going very good, or when even PR is when you don't have something to say. Let's say now you have gotten, your career has plateaued, and you're thinking, now what do I need to tell my people? Because after all, they expect you to say something. That is where PR comes in. You look through, I mean, they interlink current affairs, current happenings, to what you are passionate about, what you like, who is Fatma, what does she do. So they also help you plan your communication in a way that you remain relevant, but you also don't plateau or feel like you're speaking just for the sake of speaking.
Well, all said and done. Thank you so much for making time to join us today. We've come to the end of the podcast. I am very, very sure that I personally have learned a lot, and I hope our viewers will definitely learn from all the perspectives that you've shared. And I look forward to having you again some other time. We can discuss and expound more on public relations and communication. Ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of our podcast, We Deliver Podcast. Thank you for making time actually to listen throughout and to watch and to learn today. We've had enough sentiments being shared by our lead communication and public relation, and that was none other than Jimmy. I hope you've gained something from this podcast today, and I look forward to having you some other time. That said, happy international, or rather happy World Public Relations Day to all the public relations communication practitioners out there. Keep on doing what you know how to do best, and I'll see you next time. Bye.